Hello, hello, everyone. This is Dr. B from Steps to the Future coming to you this week with another live stream. So, this week I want to, for some of you, it may be an introduction to a free resource that will help students as they navigate through the Common Application. Also, two other resources that I want to share with you. One that will be discussed in a webinar that is tomorrow evening. So please stay tuned so you can get the information. So before I begin, I always like to ask people, what are you grateful for today? And what are you doing for self-care? So I ask my students this at every meeting, and it's always interesting the answers I get. Sometimes when we initially started this, students had to think about what were they grateful for and what were they doing for self-care. But now it's become a part of our routine, and students are sometimes bursting at the seams to tell me what they're grateful for or what new self-care routine or self-care activity that they've engaged in. So one of mine that I want to share with you, and then we'll get to the main event. Um, for those people that know me, you know we're a Rottweiler family. We've been a Rottweiler family for more than 40 years. And in March, we had to put down our 7-year-old Roddy, and he had osteosarcoma. And we ended up getting a new baby in May. So my summer I am so grateful for him. It provides me with self-care because he's just hilarious, even though sometimes he makes me crazy. So for people who haven't met him, this is my little darling. Let me see if I can put him up here on the screen so you can see him. And some of you have seen him because I share pictures of him all the time. So that is me and Nane. Nane is now 3 months old. Nane means 8 in Swahili because he is our 8th Rottweiler. So that's what I'm grateful for this summer. And that is how I am also expressing self-care by running around with this guy and just looking at his crazy, crazy antics. So with that being said, I'm going to move on. Please make sure you share this out with people, whether you're watching it live or you're watching it on the replay. And if you have any comments or questions about anything that you see this evening, please, please, please get in contact with me. Let me know. Don't just sit out there in silence. Also, I will be showing you a couple of resources. And remember, these are resources that I may use. They're not necessarily resources where I'm telling you that they're 100% fully endorsed, except there is one that I really like. So we will be back in a few seconds and get ready to learn. Hey, so we are back. So one of the first things that I want to introduce to you, well, I don't even know if it's that I want to introduce it to you. Some of you may already know about this. So let me put it up on the screen right now. So this is called the AXS Companion. This was a joint project between the Independent Educational Consultants Association and Oregon State University Ecampus. So the impetus for this is that IECA and their board were trying to we're having a discussion about what is it that we could do for students who didn't have access to an independent consultant, students who attended schools where the school counselors' caseloads were really high. I was one of those counselors. My last year as a high school counselor in East Providence High School, I probably had about 350 students. There are some people that have more than that, and that's 350 students, 9 through 12, where you're meeting their academic needs, their personal social needs, their career needs. So whatever a student needed is what you were responsible for within the confines of the school. So in that discussion, eventually they decided that they would like to put together a committee to help develop this product, and they reached out to Oregon State University and John Bockenstadt. And the AXS Companion was born. So it actually launched in 2021. Well, it was actually, they actually talked about it in 2021 when they started looking at some of the data about students who had started the Common App and didn't finish. Um, and that can be a big problem because it's one of the most commonly used college application platforms out there. There are other platforms. Some colleges also use their own platforms, but we have right now probably, about 1,000 colleges that use this application platform. So IECA, along with Oregon State University Ecampus, put this together. It launched in 2022, and we're seeing people using it, what have you, but we really want people to know about this. So please make sure you let people know about this so that they can use it. And I'm going to do a brief walkthrough. I'm not going to cover every single aspect of it because there is so much to this wonderful product. So let me put it on full screen here so that you will be able to see it hopefully a little bit better than with my face on there. You know what I look like, so you don't need to um, necessarily see me. So one of the things that I want you to think about, let's see, that I definitely want you to think about as you're doing this is who is it that you can share this with and how can you use it? So again, this is the AXS Companion. And as you can see here on the introduction, let me just pull this up a little bit, make sure you can see it. Yeah, sure you can. So it has been updated for 2023, 2024. So again, the most important thing to remember, it is a free open online resource. There will never be a fee for using the AXS Companion. And as it goes on, it tells you that each section contains explanatory videos, helpful tips, a glossary of application terms, and links to resources mentioned in the videos. Again, it's a collaboration. So let me just dive into it so I can just show you a little bit of it. So you would go to the Begin tab. Now we always have to make sure, this is always the crazy thing with live internet. Is it going to work? Is it going to do what it's supposed to do? But it is. So this is the homepage. So it's getting you started. Now, what is so cool is you'll see this pencil graphic throughout. This graphic is giving students, it's set up in just the format as you would fill out the Common App, as the Common App sections are how they're outlined. And as students start from one end of the pencil to the other, that's how they're progressing through the application. But let me take you to the part that probably you'll use more than any other part, is looking at the table of contents. So when you look at the table of contents, you can see that there's a Common App tab. And when you click on that, it walks you right through the steps. And this is exactly how it appears on the Common Application. Students will first create their Common App account. Now, families, if you want to learn more about the Common App, you can actually create a practice account. So when you go to commonapp.org, it's going to ask you a series of questions. And there you will see on there where it gives you the opportunity to create a practice account. So on a practice account, you can do everything that a student can do except submit. So definitely look into whether or not that is something that you want to do. So we have this practice account here. Well, we have this table of contents up here. So as we look at the table of contents, we see it takes you right through the sections of the Common App as they come in order. Profile section, family, education, testing, activities, writing, courses and grades. These are all sections that students that are using the Common Application would need to fill out. What it does on the AXS Companion is to give you information about each one of those sections. So if we look at activities really quickly, one of the things I like is there's for people who have different learning styles. So here's the section where you're going to read through it and you'll also see some visuals and some video. So it's telling you that this section is going to take you about 15 minutes. So it's letting you know again how much time you need to put aside to make sure that you can get this done. One of the things, it's 15 minutes to an hour to complete, depending upon the quantity of your activities and the level of your involvement. I really highly recommend that students look at this activity section because it's one of those sections that sometimes really um, perplexes students or just makes them crazy trying to, makes them a little frustrated in trying to fill it out according to the requirements of filling out that section. Do note, anywhere on the Common App, when a student is using the Common App and filling those questions out, if there is a red asterisk next to a question or an item, you do have to answer it. If it does not have the red asterisk, you can leave that question blank. You're not required to, unless you decide to. But again, look for those red asterisks because that's how you'll know what questions that you have to answer, must answer on the Common App. And it just goes through. So every section will give you an introduction. And I'm not going to go through all of this because I want you to take some time out and go through it yourself. So it goes through all this information. And then it gives you a screenshot of what it looks like. So that is a screenshot of what it looks like on the Common App. And then what you will see, there are videos that accompany each of these sections. And they're all on YouTube, and you'll be able to find them on the YouTube channel. So in this area, in this particular section on activities, they talk about using active verbs. And you're saying, okay, what's the importance of using active verbs? That's why I want you to watch the video because it will help you understand why it's important when you're creating your activities list that you use active verbs. And then it goes on to talk about writing the activities section and what you have to do. So here's the thing that frustrates or confounds students sometimes is that there are character limits. But you'll get some great information here from the folks at Wow Writing on how to write a rough draft for your common application activity section. So make sure you look at this. And then it goes on and there will be tips and reminders. And each section is set up this way. Then it will also give examples. So again, you can see how that is set up, all these examples. So you don't have to say, well, wait a minute, I'm not sure how to do this. I need an example. The examples are built into AXS Companion. So you can just see all of that. So rather than take you through all of the table of contents, again, you make sure that you look at this. One of the new things that I want to show you that I am so thrilled is here. Under Parents, there's a section that is now called English and Espanol. And what they have done, and this is an update, they have taken some videos and translated them into Spanish for our Spanish-speaking families. I am so happy to have this because a couple of my families, the primary language is Spanish, and it's much easier for the parents to go through this information in their native language versus trying to translate it into English and understand some of the English nuances, So it asks questions. So again, these are, as you can see, it says AXS Companion completing the profile section. But if you click here, it's in Espanol, it's in Spanish. So check that out. So again, let's look at the sections. They have completing the profile section, completing the family section. Again, there are tips and reminders there in English, but the videos are all translated into Spanish. This one is about looking at the questions they ask you about family and about residency. Depending upon what type of college you're going to, you may have to establish residency or determine residency. Here in North Carolina, families have to fill out the residency determination service information to verify that they qualify for in-state tuition. So anyone that thinks they qualify for in-state tuition in North Carolina, they do have to fill out the residency determination service form. And you will find that online. So again, I am thrilled about this and can't wait to share it with my families. There's a section on a financial aid section. Again, it's been translated into Spanish. I'm not going to play all of these because there are just so many there that I just want people to be able to see what's available to them. So that talks about understanding sticker price versus net price. Again, it's been translated for families who are Spanish speaking. Section on financial aid information, understanding need-based aid, understanding loans, understanding merit aid, and building a smart college list. These are all available for free on the AXS Companion. And then there are just a few extra resources here. Now, I did mention that it was on YouTube. So what I want to show you here on YouTube, so this is the YouTube channel for the AXS Companion. What I strongly suggest is when you click on videos, click over here on videos and go to the tab that says latest. So the latest, the ones that have had changes recently will be at the top. So as you can see, here's the AXS Companion Spanish version of the financial aid section. Then here's submitting your college application using Common App. So you can see this was just updated 5 days ago. So again, if you want to see the newest changes, please go to the tab that says videos and then go to the tab that says latest, and you will have that information at your fingertips. So again, I mean, I think this is one of the most fantastic things created by IECA and Oregon State University Ecampus. And from time to time, I'm going to talk about it. You'll see postings about it on my Facebook page, on my LinkedIn page, on Instagram. Not too sure about Twitter yet because I'm not sure if I'm going to stay there, but I'm still there. So you might look for it there also. So the other thing I wanted to show you, so again, if you have any questions about that, if that's something you want to share with people, please, put your comments in the online, and I will see your comments or your questions, and I will get back to you and answer you. So the next resource that I want to show you is called Tuition Tracker. Now, people are always concerned, and rightly so, because college is expensive. And it's one of the biggest expenses that a family has today. So there are tools out there to help you estimate the cost of college. Now, here, that's the important word, estimate. This does not show you what your final cost is going to be. It gives you an estimation. So it's really important that you understand that. But this is just another one of those tools that people are using. And let me actually go to the homepage so you can see how it is. So this is Tuition Tracker, and it's a decent tool. I know many of my colleagues are using it. School counselors are using it. So what you would do, so it gives you information about what your cost may be. So you can find a school, it gives you information about the tool, and then you can also download the information. So you can go over hover over different states in order to pick a school that you're interested in learning more information about. Yeah, again, it's letting me know that I haven't made any selections. They have almost 4,000 colleges, a little over 3,500 colleges on this. So again, you can answer questions here about what level of degree do you want. You can answer questions about what subjects are you looking to study. Are you looking for public, private, or for profit schools? How big a school do you want to attend? And then it helps you find schools. Now, if I just wanted to find a school, so say, so a student of mine is interested in Babson College. I'm going to click in Babson and we see it here and we ask it to search for Babson. And this is what comes up. So we get this wonderful window about Babson College. So it's telling us up here, it's a private 4-year college. It tells us what its acceptance rate was as it was identified in 2021. And then it also gives us an average of how many people actually pay, what percentage of families or students pay the sticker price. Now, the data is from 2020. One of the things with college data is it's often not, current for that year because it takes time to compile it and then it has to go to whichever agency that posts the information. But again, here's some information. So again, it gives us what our sticker price is. So it's not an inexpensive college. And this is an interesting section where it talks about net price. So it says here $19,000. This is the net price for everyone. And if you read the small print, it says what we project for students in the $0 to $30,000 income bracket will actually pay. So if you wanted to change that income bracket, there are several places where you can do it. You can go here and say now you want someone that's in the 48,000 to 75,000 income bracket. So now you see that it changes the net price for that family because it's based on income. The higher your income, the higher your net price will be. So if we moved up to families making $75,000 to $100,000, we would see that this is what their net price calculator is, what their net price may be. And then families that make over $110,000, you can see again, the higher your income, the higher your estimated net price. It's really important that you remember this is estimated. And as you're looking at this college, we can see it gives a great chart on historical price trend. Again, this is another place where you can change. So this is the net price again for $0 to $30,000 annual income, and you can change that, and you can see that it changes the projected net price on this graph. So for some folks, you like to read it. For other people, these visuals really help. Again, just showing the different income brackets, and you can see. And on this graph, they also have it. This is as of 20. This is the estimated net price for 23, 24, and they have data all the way back to 2013, 2014. So it's looking at the historical sticker price. And then they also talk about success rate and graduation rates. And they have this categorized by race. And it's, again, graduation rate for this particular piece is students who have earned a bachelor degree within 6 years of starting. And you will, or within, or an associate degree within 3 years. So you get that information. So here's a quick place to also find that information all in one place. And again, it's important to read the fine print because sometimes people will read something or see something and run with it. So this does say graduation rates are not perfect measures of school quality, but a low rate could mean many students are dropping out or taking too long to finish, which pushes up the cost of their education. And there's additional information on that. So one of the things you want to do when you're visiting a college, if you have a question about their graduation rate, you need to ask why, because it's not always as it seems. Sometimes graduation rates are low because students' finances don't allow them to continue, so they have to drop out. until they can get their finances in such a way that they can return to school. It could be that students are being hired in their industry as of their junior year. Think of that, as a elite student athlete who has been drafted in the NBA, their freshman year. So that that is counted into the college's graduation rate because that student left early. Retention rates by type. Um, some schools have data, some don't. So this one is letting us know that 94% of their full-time students return for their sophomore year. So retention rate is students returning after their freshman year for their sophomore year, their second year in school. So it just gives you some other demographic information, enrollment information. But one of the great things, again, you can go in here and you can compare different schools. So I want you to play around with this, play around with it, see what information you can find out. Again, as I said, it gives you the opportunity to look at it by state. So if you were thinking of Colorado and clicking on Colorado, whoops, just getting some information here. So it lets me know. So when I go in here and say I'm looking for colleges in Colorado, I also will have to answer these other questions. So then it'll give me a list of colleges. So if I'm looking for a 4-year degree, if I'm looking to study, say, I was a history major. So I'm going to type in history in here. Oops, I guess I should spell it right, folks? Okay, history, there we go. I am looking for public and private nonprofit schools. And how big of a school do I want to attend? Is that let me see. So I'm going to say 5,000 to 10,000 students. So you can see here where I've made some selections. And let's see what schools come up. Oh, it's telling me so nobody came up in that particular one. So that's good. So let's see if I ask for bigger schools. Let's see what happens here. And see, this is why you got to get in here and you got to play around with it and see, oh, it's making me do the selections all over again. Okay, but you get the gist of it. So go in there, find out what your estimated net price is going to be. Remember, this is not about your final net price. This is giving you an estimate. So I think it's always important for families to get an idea of what they're going to pay for college. Please, and also reach out to the financial aid offices at the colleges that you're interested in. After all, that's a pretty hefty payment to be making. So the last one I want to talk about, and I'm only going to talk about this briefly because one of the things I'm going to share with you tomorrow on my Facebook page is I will be sharing information about how you can watch a live webinar on Facebook about this particular product. So two of my colleagues, Jenny Kent and Jeff Levy, several years ago decided that they got tired of searching for information for every college separately, and they wanted information in one place. And they wanted information about early decision versus regular decision. They wanted information about need-based versus merit aid. And they also were looking for information about students, international students, and what kind of financial aid was available to them. Now, typically when we're looking for this information, we're going bit by bit, looking at separate websites, other places, they wanted this all in one place. So one of the things that they did, and I want to show this to you, and they will be live tomorrow on Grown and Flown. Whoops. They will be live tomorrow on Grown and Flown, showing this. So let me see if I can get back to where I was. Yes. So I want to show you this. We've got a windstorm blowing up here in North Carolina. So I guess we're getting ready to get a huge rainstorm. So folks, if my power goes out, just bear with me. So let me show you this. So this is Jenny Cat and Jeff Levy's website. It's Big J Education Consulting. And as you can see here at the top, it says 2023 updated resource charts available now. Click here. So here are the charts that I was telling you about. And one of the things they did differently this year is they made an interactive chart versus just having a Google spreadsheet. So this is the one for early decision and regular decision acceptance rates for the class of 2026. Here is the same chart in PDF if you choose to download it that particular way. And then they also have, for your research purposes, domestic undergraduate need-based and merit aid class of 2026. Same thing in PDF. And the third chart is the financial aid for undergraduate international non-citizens class of 2026. So let me just look at one of these. So I've already went on to the interactive chart for early decision and regular decision. So one of the things you can see here on this chart, and it's interactive because you're able to select multiple colleges and compare them. But you can see here on this chart. So for example, if a student was interested in attending Amherst College, you can see here on the chart, and let me actually go to full screen so hopefully you can see a little bit more of that. So Amherst College, you see that their early decision acceptance rate was 31.8%. Their regular decision acceptance rate was 6.1. At Amherst, they admit, ED admits as 47% of their freshman class through ED. That means almost 50% of their students come in through early decision. That's how you use this chart. That's why it's valuable. I am not going to go into a lot about this because tomorrow evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, I hope that you join Grown and Flown on their Facebook page and have the opportunity to hear from Jenny and Jeff live. They will give you more information about this than I ever could because it's their baby. It's their creation. So again, those are just some of the things I want people to know about because I know this whole college planning process can be perplexing, frustrating, and just downright, oh my goodness. Why can't they just ask the questions more, simpler than that? Why does it have to be so hard? And it shouldn't be. So these are some tools that will help you work through this process, whether you're working with your school council, whether you're working with the independent educational consultant, or whether you're working on your own. It's really important that you know that these tools are out here and available to you. Now, you guys know I always have to talk about a book. So this time I actually want to talk about a series of books. So I have to stop buying them I need to start giving them away. So there's a series of books. It's called A Kid's Book About. And then each book has a different author and it has a different topic. So these are just three that I happen to have in my collection. A Kid's Book About Money. Okay, these are really great. And it says for ages 4+, it talks about savings, wants, needs, and money. And it says what's inside. Money is one of those things that everyone has to deal with in their life, but not many of us learned much about it. There may be no more important topic for grown-ups to teach kids about than money. This book is a perfect way to introduce the topic to kids. It covers what money is, how to earn it, and how to use it wisely. So this is one of a series, a kid's book about money. Another one that I have is a kid's book about belonging. Okay, this is really great. So this is says for ages 5 plus. It talks about pretending, safety, loneliness, and self-love. This is a book about belonging, and we know we all want to belong. It tackles what it's like when you feel like you belong to a group or family or team, or what it's like when you don't. It addresses what it feels like when you don't fit in or when others don't want you around. This book teaches kids how to belong to themselves and how that helps them belong anywhere. Again, kids' book about belonging, part of a series. And the last one that I still have, because I've given my others away, a kid's book about empathy. So here it is. And what's inside? It talks about patience, sympathy, fear, and empathy. This is a book about empathy. Feelings aren't always easy, especially when they're other people's. This book teaches kids and grown-ups how to feel with somebody, not just for them. Again, series of books, a kid's book about, and there are so many, many titles. And you can go on their website, just do an internet search for a kid's book about, and you will see all of the different titles that are out there for you. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. Again, if you have any questions, you have a young person, you're interested in college and career counseling service, you can reach out to me at Dr. B at stepstothefuture.com. I currently have about 3 openings left for this year's class of seniors. So if you have seniors that are looking for some assistance, email me and we'll get started, and we'll have a discussion about it. I'd also love for people to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm trying to build up those numbers. So again, it's bit.ly/stepcc, and that's how you can sign up to my YouTube channel. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining me this evening. As I said, if you have a question, you can leave it in the comments, and I will definitely see this later on. Again, thank you, and I will see you next Monday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern Time with some more C3 with Dr. B. Thank you so much, everyone, and have a great rest of your evening.